Good afternoon, everybody. It is just after 12 o'clock on Monday, the 24th of March. I'm Karen Curitan, social media trainer, here for my regular live. But today I'm joined by the lovely Paula Smith. Good afternoon, Paula.
Hi, good afternoon, Karen. It's lovely to be here.
So it's nice actually to have a guest. And I was thinking it's a little while since I've had a guest, and it's always interesting to me how we connect and we meet people. So you and I met through Athena, didn't we?
Yes, we did. Yeah, the online networking platform. Absolutely.
Yes. So for people who don't know Athena, let me tell you a little bit about that. So Athena is a professional business women's networking group, and I think they call it now hybrid, in that the meetings are online, but some other events are in person too. So we have a bit of a blend of that. I'm a long-standing member. I was reminded by my regional director the other day that I've been a member for 10 years. I don't know if I get a special badge for that or something.
I
or
absolutely
not.
think you ought to.
I think we should, shouldn't we? I think we
Absolutely.
should. I think we should. So how long have you been a member, Paula?
Well, I first came across Athena as a recommendation from another member of Athena, probably 2-3 months ago now. So
Right.
I've been dabbling with all various types of networking, face-to-face, purely online, hybrid. So yeah, about 3 months ago, I first showed my face on
So
Athena.
very, very new to it. And I think,
Yeah.
and the subject matter that we're going to talk about today, actually, I think is all connects in with networking, because I think when you run your business by yourself, when you came from teaching, didn't you?
Yes. Yeah, I had a
And
35-year background.
so when you come from that background, what I call a grown-up job, not that what we don't do isn't grown up at all, but when you come from that background, it can be quite a lonely place. And I think networking gives you that support network, doesn't it? I mean, you must find that too.
Yeah, absolutely. I think particularly when you're starting out, I mean, as you said, I'm from a teaching background. I was a teacher for 35 years until last year, when I decided or found the courage to give that up to start my own business. And at the beginning, lots of excitement, lots of buzz, lots of feeling, oh, this is really grown up to be doing this, and being an entrepreneur instead of an employee. Um, but then you're right, after a while I'm starting to think, well, I'm missing that contact that I have with colleagues day to day, that contact that I have with the children, with the families. And so networking, not only for the promotion of the business and for growing my list, etc., but to have that safe network of people who know what you're experiencing, and know what you're going through. It was fabulous for me. I really enjoyed
And
it.
I think you've touched on it there. And I go physically networking every week to a breakfast group. I do my Athena monthly meeting, and I do another group which is monthly, which is in person. And we were talking about networking in our monthly lunch group last week, and we were saying one of the reasons why it's great to network with other business owners is nobody else in your family or support network, your friends, like my best friend's just been WhatsApp messaging me. She has no idea what life is like as a self-employed person. In fact, I said last week, I feel like there was a lady sat at our table who literally had set her business up the previous week. And I said, I feel like I should write a book about things I wish I'd known when I set up my own business.
I'd buy that book, Karen. I would.
I think I'm going to call it This Time Next Year, Rodney Will Be Millionaires, because that's what I was convinced of. I think that's absolutely what I was convinced of. So, Paula, tell everybody. So, we've got loads of people. This is being streamed live on YouTube as well as on my LinkedIn. Tell everybody a little bit about, why after all these years in teaching you left and what you do now.
Right. Okay. So after 35 years of teaching, I had got to the top of my game. I'd been deputy head teacher, executive head teacher. I'd seen a lot of changes And I remember one day looking around me thinking, I used to be the baby and I'm not anymore. And there are all these young people now that have got all this vibrancy and energy. And I'm thinking, where did those years go? And that coincided, that sort of creeping kind of realization coincided with me taking my first daughter to university. Single mum for 10 years, brought my kids up on my own. And it was a real departure for me. It was a real kind of, I mean, everybody, you know, gets to that point, don't they, where their children fly the nest. But up until that point, I thought, oh, she'll be back in 4 years. And then I thought, no, she won't actually. And my purpose became under question. I'm thinking I'm no longer really lit up by the work that I do. There's nowhere for me to go. There's nowhere to progress to. My role as mum is not coming to an end, but changing. So I was left with this sort of stark realization of, well, who am I without those labels? And what's left for me? Is this now just a slow decline to retirement and then whatever's beyond retirement? And I just thought, there's got to be more. There's got to be more to life than this. And I looked back and thought, I used to have dreams. I used to have ambitions. And yes, I've been highly successful, but there was still something missing. So that's when I thought about, well, what would I like to do? I'd like to publish a book. Then I thought, I'd like to run my own business, but I've no idea in what. And at that moment, that's when I came across the program that changed my life. And within the space of 8 months, I had lost 80 pounds in weight naturally. I'd grown confidence that I used to have but had lost over the years, that probably eroded from, you know, trying to second guess myself all the time. I launched not one but 2 new businesses. And I suddenly found myself just excited for every single day, waking up thrilled and excited. So what I do now is that I help women who get to a point in life and think, what's left for me? But aren't sure. They're not sure. They think maybe they've left it too late. They think maybe they're too old. Maybe it's selfish to invest in myself. Maybe I should just be grateful for what I have. I take those women who are stuck and I systematically help them get rid of all the limiting beliefs that they had that held them back from just stepping into the best second act of their life, basically, and create the life that they really love and that lights them up again.
And I think that's the thing, isn't it? I think once you get to a point, and we were talking about this actually at the weekend. I was at an awards dinner on Saturday, and we were talking about the fact that, you know, through your 30s, early 40s-ish, you are bringing up your family. You're maybe putting yourself in way down the list of priorities. And then all of a sudden, you know, if you are empty nesters or like me, you know, our son chose not to go to university, so he's still living at home for the foreseeable. So at a point in our lives, we are left with somebody who's not dependent on us, but is still in the way in that they are emotionally dependent. Mm-hmm. And I think as women in business specifically, I think we're so unselfish with how we behave that then we struggle with that shift into then putting us first. So tell us a little bit more about how you work with your clients then, Paula. That'd be really interesting just to explore that a little bit more.
Yeah, sure. Well, Karen, you hit the nail on the head. You know, we women are born natural nurturers. We have, you know, we are conditioned by society, but also by birthright to nurture and to put others' needs first. It's an instinct that we have. And you're right, you turn around suddenly and think, where did that time go? And what about me? So what I do, I have two different approaches that I use. I have like a kind of a full all out transformational program that's 6 months. And we look at basically the 4 games of life that you don't have a choice in play. You know, you might have a choice whether you're a business owner. You might have a choice whether you are going to have children or not. You might have a choice whether to get married or not. But there are 4 games that you have no choice in: health, wealth, relationships, because you've got to have relationships with everybody that comes and goes in and out of your life, whether you choose to settle or not, and purpose and meaning. So we look at those 4 key games of life that you have no choice but to play, and we find out how well you're doing in all 4 of those areas. Because it's like, imagine you've got a chariot that you're riding and you've got 4 horses pulling that chariot. If one of them's not functioning properly, your chariot's going to go everywhere. So it's important that you've got all 4 of those key games, you know, running optimally. So we assess where you are in those 4 areas, and from that then we draw up a program of support, weekly calls, materials, toolkit stuff that it's really tailored to your journey, to where you want to be. We look at goal setting, but not in any way that you've ever looked at goal setting in your life before. It's completely different. It'll blow your mind. We look at authenticity and how to show up authentically. And in actual fact, you know, you're born authentic, but one of the things that happens over time through society, through conditioning, is we learn how not to be authentic, how to play the game to suit other people. And we have this thing called goop, you know, the good opinion of other people that we are held back by. So so I work with people for 3 months if you want like a booster, 6 months if you want the full out transformational program, one-on-one calls each week, tailored to your specific needs. And that's really important, that it's not a generic one size fits all.
And I think there's a lot of coaching like that does feel, you know, having been coached myself, I think what can happen really easily is that coaches can fall into this. And yes, there needs to be a system and a process to how you do it, but it's also about what's right for the individual is so important.
Absolutely.
And for you, you know, for your clients, what do they say about working with you?
It's really interesting. I mean, all of them say that I'm a really good listener. And all of them say I don't shy away from asking the hard questions. I'm not here to massage anybody's ego, or to, you know, to comply or be complicit with clients in what they're holding themselves back with. So I have this ability to be able to see through the gaps and what's not being said, and I will work really hard to ask those questions and really kind of hold up the mirror to reflect back, so people are looking really deeply at themselves. To be fair, the clients are the ones that do the work. They work really hard. And
yeah, it can be exhausting being a coachee. Being a coachee is really, really exhausting, because sometimes there's so much emotional stuff comes out of this as well.
Absolutely. But, you know, you don't go to the gym once and hope that when you've gone in and you've ticked your box and you've gone to the gym, you've lifted the weights, that's it, you're fit for life. It's ongoing. And you're right, it uncovers lots and lots of things that go deep. And my clients said it's the realizations that they get, the aha moments that they get through working with me, that they then take in and apply it in all areas of their life, and really truly absolutely transform their relationships, to health, to wealth, to the people that they live with, and that sense of purpose and meaning, which in midlife is the one area that we can sometimes really fall down on.
And I think that's so true. You know, when you talk about the gym, I often talk about the gym when I'm talking about social media, is that people think that they can do an hour's training or maybe catch some free training on YouTube or whatever and spend an hour doing stuff, and that's going to fix things. And, you know, to fix ourselves, we're all a work in progress. I often use the analogy, and it applies for what I do, but also for what you do, is it's a bit like turning a cruise ship around. It's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take time, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that I think is the big thing, is that we are all evolving and we're all learning at different rates of speed. And I think that for me is the fascinating thing, is that, what will resonate with me today might not resonate with me in a month's time, because I'm changing, and, your energy shifts, doesn't it?
100%. I love that I use the analogy of the tanker, like the big oil tankers. It's the same like the cruise ship. You adjust by putting your request out there, and it takes time then for that to course correct. And also, it's not about, I don't believe it's about fixing people. You're not broken. You're right. It's about evolving, and it's not about throwing out the baby with the bathwater and completely reinventing yourself either. It's not. It's just about building on what you already have, finding out where the pipes are clogged, and well, I wouldn't even go to say unclogging the old pipes. It's about laying new pipes.
Because actually, we are born a certain way, and I mean, as a trained trainer, one of the worst things about that is I'm my own biggest critic, and I think as a trainer or a coach, you're very self-aware and you're aware of your own flaws. But actually, it's about managing that. My lovely dad, I've just dropped my mum and dad off this morning at the coach pickup point. They're heading off on a Canary cruise. Nice. My dad's 87 in a few weeks. My mum's 82. And they're going off. And, I look at my dad and I listen to him. And I'm my father's daughter. And I recognize it. So I recognize my strengths and my weaknesses. But as a trainer, I manage my less attractive properties, shall we say, my control freak and my demand for everything to be done like now. I manage that because I'm consciously aware of it. My dad's got to an age where he doesn't care. He doesn't care. He's done. He is how he is, and he's not, love him or loathe him. That's who he is. But I think when you are working with your clients, it is that element of, we're all layers, aren't we? We're all multiple layers people. And to get that, and I think what you're offering for your clients is, to get that for them. Because I think when you have a family, you do lose a little of your sense of identity.
Yeah, exactly that. And it's really important to understand that identity, the labels that we give ourselves, they're not glued on. They're stuck on with Velcro, and you can take them off and you can put new ones on. But when you get really confident with, like, not I am Paula Smith, I am a business owner, I am a teacher, I am a retired teacher. When you get comfortable with I am, full stop. That's when you can start peeling back the layers of the onion. That's when you can start really exploring. So who am I? What is my identity? What's my unshakable identity? And what is my purpose? And how can I fulfill that? And for me, the key to life is it's all about growth and contribution. And we continue to grow and we continue to contribute. And if we're hitting those two non-egoic needs, then we are going to be finding not happy when, or not I'll be great when, but great now. I'm happy now. Because you can't run out of now. That's the wonderful thing. You can't run out of now.
And that's it. And we are, I think, as humans, I think we're almost hardwired to look and reflect back on the past rather than living in the now. And I think we need to focus on that. You're absolutely right, that living in the right now, because that's the only thing we can influence.
Absolutely. The past is gone. In fact, even now, this minute, it's gone. It's over and done with. And the future, we spend a lot of time in the future, and that's called worry and doubt. When we're worrying and we're doubting, we're in the future. And that's a story we're telling ourselves, because we don't know that that's going to be the case. Conditioned by how we've thought throughout our life. That's who we are in the here and in the now. And if you're sitting there worrying about, am I going to have enough money, or is it right to invest in yourself, or, you know, and talking to your point that you made earlier about the social media thing. As a new business owner, I recognize the need to invest, and I've invested in the things that I need to get help with from other people who are experts in it. Why do we not do that with our life, with our life's purpose?
It's crazy, isn't it? Well, yeah. I feel like we could talk about this for hours.
We definitely could.
Let's just wrap up. So if anybody's interested in learning more, I'm going to pop the link to Paula's website in the comments after we wrap up. And I'm guessing that you offer people a discovery call. How would they take the first steps to working with you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you go onto my website on page 1, you'll find a place where you can download a brochure that tells you a little bit about the 5 roadblocks to freedom that might be in your way. And there's an opportunity there in that, and on the front page to book a free, no obligation call with me, just to see where you're at now, where you might like to be, and if I can help you to get there.
Well, Paula, thank you so much for joining me today. It's been absolutely lovely to chat on such a wonderful subject. And anybody at all who wants to learn more, get onto the link in the comments or connect with Paula, of course, on LinkedIn too. And I'll see you all very soon. Take care.
Take care.